All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started with the webinar. My name is Victoria. I'm a customer success specialist with PunchPass. And today our webinar is focused on getting back into session and resetting your fitness classes, kind of how it might feel to get back into a new, may it be a new year, a new season, whatever that might look like for you, depending on how your business operates, and how you can kind of get refreshed, get back into it, make some changes, shake things up a little bit. And this webinar is being recorded, so we're going to be sending it out to everyone who signed up. So if you do need to step out or miss something, we'll be sending it your way. And we're also going to be taking questions at the end, so you can write into the chat during the course of the webinar, and then we'll deal with your questions as we get to them at the end. And we'll also be doing at the end a question to you, asking you to, if you have any recommendations or requests for content and topics for our monthly webinar series, just let us know. We'd love to, make sure that we're providing the content that you're interested in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So kind of an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. This happens, to be a time of change and shift in the US specifically. We're heading into a new school year, a new season. And so around here, it becomes very, common for things to shift, things to change, and that to be kind of a normal, process. But this doesn't mean this is only US focused. Obviously, people all across the world have different times of year where this happens, or this might be something that you want to take a look at it and be like, okay, so for maybe January 1st, like that's kind of our big year, that's our big time shift. The feelings change and what we're looking to offer might change. So this content can be something that you can get back to at a different time depending on where you're located, but hopefully you'll kind of get the feeling of some ideas, some ways you can kind of get back into things, start fresh. Even if you're not starting a new business, you're just starting a new time of year, a new season, just getting a kind of fresh start on things, and how PunchPass can help you do that, and some other ideas that we have from our team to hopefully help you do that as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So a new season or new year, new you, what can be changed and shifted as you enter a new phase of your time with your business. It just is an opportunity, and it basically gives you license to change things up a bit. Sometimes I think people are afraid of change, or they're get concerned about making changes to business, but this is how we keep things fresh. We keep people engaged and excited about our classes and our offerings by offering things a little bit different. And, that could be something as small as, hey, we're going to change the date or time of this class to, we're offering a new instructor, or we're offering a totally different kind of, opportunity, a different class type entirely. But even small changes can have a big impact, because as our schedules shift around and things change, people's priorities shift during the year at different times and during different seasons. We see different opportunities, and by taking advantage of that and taking advantage of almost like we're given the opportunity to change pretty significantly at a new season, it's a good opportunity to take up on it. It's also an opportunity to not only focus on bringing new clients in, but also focusing on bringing some older clients back in. So summer, again, seasonally, obviously it's all different all the time, but what we see a lot of times is kind of around the September month, we see a lot of people getting back into a routine. We took the summer and took vacations and changed up different things. And this might be a great time to remind people, hey, we're still here. We're offering classes. We're even offering these new classes. You might want to check those out. And also, again, of course, promoting to new customers and hopefully getting people who might be looking for that routine, looking for a fitness regimen as they're entering a new season or getting back to school, or their kids are going back to school. It's just an opportunity to get new people, bring some people back into the fold. And again, with new opportunities, that might be a way to bring them back in. It's also an opportunity to test out something. So it might be really scary as a business owner to say, oh, we've got someone who really wants to teach this whole brand new thing, and we're just going to set up a weekly class and just buy in right away. That can be nerve-wracking, and it's untested. So we're going to talk about workshops and how that might be something that you could use to give someone a trial run, whether that's an instructor or a type of class. But this is, again, it's a nice opportunity to try something new. And it's also a great time to take a look at some of your marketing processes, some of your usual fonts and colors and features and the way that you post things on social media, and say like, oh, okay, we're entering a new time, we're entering a new season. Let's just try something a little bit different, shake it up as you have people scrolling through their phones, and maybe, hey, there's something new, something flashy, something different popped up, and that might also get people more excited to check out your classes. So something that I just wanted to review right off the bat really quick is how you can change your schedule around. And often, again, times of year where things shift and people's schedules change, you might need to shift your schedule to match. So what we're going to be showing you in this video is how to adjust your time for and dates for a regular recurring weekly class. If you need to change a class time for a recurring class, you can head into Manage Classes and click on the class that you need to adjust. So from that page, you can click on Manage the Schedule or scroll down and click on Manage the Repeating Schedule. And here you'll see your recurring class time. So I can go ahead and click Edit, and I can change details. So from this option, I can select a different instructor, change the location, adjust the class time, and then I can set when that change is going to happen. So if, for instance, the class is moving to an hour later, we'll just scroll to that class time and select it. And then we can say that change is going to affect, after next week. So we'll set that then. And we'll update the class details. So what you'll see is the old time is running through, that date, and then it's going to start, with a new time on a new date. So that's what you'll see if you make an adjustment to, one of the times or something on that level. But if we go back into our classes, maybe we need to change the day of the week. So for instance, this class is happening on a Tuesday. Maybe we need to change it to a Thursday. So what we're going to do is click on Manage the Repeating Schedule. We're going to click Edit. And because we need to make a major change like that, we're going to set this one to end. So we're going to change the end date or delete the class time. So we could delete it moving forward, or we could say, okay, that change is going into effect. And we're going to set when, that's happening. And then also we can choose the option to remove reservations. So we're going to change the end date. And once we do that, we can go ahead and select the new settings for that class time. So we'll just set up a new class time here, and that's going to start after this date ends. So you can make those selections and add the class time then. So now we'll have the old date is ending and the new date is beginning. All right. So that's really how to just, if you need to make a change to your regular scheduled classes, that's how you can do that. There's also some things that you can do, with your business and things that you have control over. You can think about sort of getting back to, the original things you might have planned for the space or with your instructors. And also, maybe think about some new ways to get it a little refreshed. So one of those things might be reviewing some of your policies, rules, and processes with your instructors, walking them through your kind of orientation process, maybe on a briefer level than when you first hired them, but just, it's a new season, it's a new time. You can say, hey, we're just going to walk through all of our usual processes. How do we clean the space? How do we mark attendance? How do we handle it if someone walks in and they're a drop-in? What to do in case of an emergency? Some of your, regular things that you've talked about before and you've trained them on, but it might be nice to kind of get that refresher course as you're moving into a new season, a new time. You might be bringing on new instructors and maybe just refreshing kind of old guard on your team as well. Might just make sure that, everyone's coming into your space, your business, and experiencing consistency from all of your instructors. So that's something that we think is like a great thing to do on a recurring basis. It can be seasonal, it could be annual, but whatever kind of works for you and your schedule might be something to consider. Another thing, as we're moving into, a new season, you're trying to bring in new people, you're trying to refresh things, you might need to look around your space, your physical space, and say, okay, what are we doing here? What makes us happy? What might make an improvement? Maybe it's just a fresh coat of paint. Maybe it's new art. Maybe it's, looking at the equipment that you have and what needs to be updated. Things like that could just be a way to kind of refresh the space and bring in a new happy feeling when you walk in there too, because you don't want to get bored when you walk into your space. You want to feel excited and, just feel good and positive about that experience. You spend a lot of time there. It's your business. Make it feel good for you. That also might go hand in hand with refreshing your website. If you've set up your website when you first started and you haven't really touched it since, this might be a great time to say, hey, let's take a look at what we're doing and let's see if there's something, a little bit better that we could do, or something that, hey, we've had this information on here for a long time. Maybe let's promote something new. Let's readjust what our content is and where it's placed on our website. And this might be a great time to kind of have that refreshing feeling. And again, because we have sort of the license to make changes during this time, it's a great opportunity to say, yeah, like if you need to have your website down for a quick second, you can still use your Punch Pass page and share out your Punch Pass schedule and keep classes going. But it might be a good time, as you have this sort of opportunity to make changes, to make some changes to your website and make sure it's updated in a way that you like. Something else that we definitely want to touch on as we're kind of coming back to the fold, and maybe you're doing in-person classes again, or you're making changes to your schedule, is the situation with COVID-19 and how you're presenting that, your process and your sort of policies around COVID at your studio, to make sure that your older customers coming back or your completely brand new clients are aware of what your policies are. So that can be as simple as making sure that your in-studio policies are available and obvious for customers. So one place you can go to do this is if you go to your public schedule settings, we have an area where you can add any text you want, any custom text that you want on your public schedule. It'll be the header right at the top. So people will see it as soon as they're going to book into a class. And the great thing about that is you can add links, you could add pictures. So you could do promotional things here too, but it's a great place to let people know prior to class, like before they book, hear what our policies are, put that right in front of them so that they feel confident and comfortable coming to your studio, or at least know what the rules are at your studio. Also not a bad place to to add any information about cleaning, or your air filtration, or any information, again, to make people feel comfortable and confident about coming to your classes. Again, this is a great place to add this. If you don't have a website, or if you want to add that directly on your website, you could do that as well. But again, we give you that space in Punch Pass and viewable by your customers from their public schedule, so that they can see that information up front before booking. This is also a time to think about, your online offerings. What kind of online classes do you offer? And is that something that you're promoting actively? So even though, you might feel really comfortable and you have a group of regulars who are really comfortable taking in-person classes, you might be missing out on potentially new clients joining, or people who aren't feeling well, but still kind of want to take a class. doing something from the comfort of their own home. So, if you've been kind of moving away from online and you're really sticking to in-person, that's perfectly fine. But, don't forget that the online offerings open you up to a lot of potential customers from all different places around the world, people who have different capabilities to get to your space. So don't neglect your online classes if that's something that you haven't really played around with recently or you haven't updated recently. This might be a good time to think about what you're offering online and how you can make that available to your customers. I also wanted to review one process you can use if you are using vaccination status and you are tracking that for your customers. This is something that you can do in Punch Pass with our flag feature. So from a customer info tab, we have a flag customer option, and you can enter any information here you want. So we created this for just about anything. It might be something so, small as like, hey, this person left their water bottle at the front desk, let them know. Or it could be something, really, really important about that customer, their payment status, their health status. We do show health status, but again, if there's something like really important, you can put it up here. But it's also something that you could use if you are at your studio enforcing a vaccination status policy or a testing policy. The nice thing is that during attendance, you can read what's on the flag. So your instructors or yourself, you can look at the attendance, you can hover over the flag and you'll see their status. So whether that's tracking vaccines or anything else you might want to use it for, the flag feature is available to you. So we just kind of wanted to review that as, again, people might be, changing things up, shifting their policies, and wanted to make sure that you have that covered. Okay, promotions. So there's a lot of different potential promotions that you can offer. The one that we talk about all the time at Punch Pass is always like new students, like your first time special, like how do you get a free class for, your first class for free, what kind of opportunities you can offer there, and that's great. But there's also the opportunity to promote to returning students. People haven't been there in a couple months and hey, we haven't seen them around and we want to get them back into the studio and get them back on a regular schedule of coming to our classes and get back into the swing of things. Well, that's someone you might want to offer a promotion to as well, just to get them back through your front door. And another great feature that you can use with discount codes and promotions is, promoting people to sign up early. So if you're offering something like a workshop or a special event, a series, you could set up a discount code that has an expiration date and say, hey, if you sign up before this date, here's, you can use this promo code and get this percentage off or this many dollars off, that particular event. And that could be a way to just get a feel for people who want to attend and give you an idea of how many people are interested, and also just promote the event that you might be hosting. So we're going to walk through discount codes. We've had an update to discount codes. So, this shows you we talked through both options. So let's check it out.
If you're looking to set up a discount code, you'll head to Manage Settings and scroll down into the discount code area. Here you'll see the option up at the top to click and add a new discount code. So for this example, we're trying to bring people back into the studio. So we'll make a back to class discount code. All of the codes need to be all uppercase. They can include numbers, but all one word, no spaces. And then type of discount. So we could do a percentage. So we could give people a certain percentage off. For instance, if you're doing like a special, you could do 100% off and give it for free. Or you could do a fixed amount and say maybe this is like $15 off your next class or your next pass. You can set up an expiration date for your discount code. So if people need to, use it or lose it, you could say, hey, all the month of September, use our back to class discount code and get $15 off. You could also set a limit. So for instance, if you were saying, hey, the first 10 people to sign up can get to use that code. So, depends on what you're looking for, but we'll use this for this instance. And once we create the discount code, we can click into it because the discount code is something that you can edit, but it's also something you can adjust the eligible passes and ticketed classes. So for instance, I might not want to make it eligible for everything. So I can clear everything. And then maybe it's just, hey, you can use it on your next 10 class punch card. And that's what we're using it for. So you can select the different classes or passes you want the discount code to be eligible for. Then you can share that code with the customers you wish to share it to, and they can use it during checkout.
So one thing I really kind of like to mention about discount codes is, again, we spend so much time talking about your first class free, or how can we give someone a free drop-in pass? Especially when you're talking about getting older customers back into the studio, giving them a discount on an already sort of discounted price, like a 10 class pass. Not only is it, kind of giving them like, oh, right, I kind of get a really nice deal here. The other thing is you're basically getting them started with multiple classes. They're paying for multiple classes at once. And that's just an opportunity to say, you don't have to only discount your kind of basic single drop-in pass. That's something where you can offer a nice discount on, a larger pass. And that can be something that really gets someone back in the swing of things, builds in that routine for them. I'll get this 10 class and take the 10 classes, and then they're paying for the next one full price. So definitely something to think about. If you haven't been playing around a lot with discount codes, it's definitely a potential option. One thing I always like to focus on when I talk to people about our reporting features is this report that we have that I think a lot of people miss, but it can be really great when you're targeting customers, and specifically customers that haven't attended in a while. So if you go into your PunchPass account and you head into reports, there's a report called customer attendances. And if we click on that, you'll be given the option to run a date range, set a date range. So the way that I might describe this is like, hey, I want to see everyone who, attended in May but hasn't come back. So what I'll do is I'll run from May to now, and I'll run that report. And then I can, I'll get the whole list of customers who've attended during that time. And this report is something that you can sort. So by clicking at the top of the column, so you'll see there's one where you can sort by last attendance. That is something that is like super easy to sort and pull. Okay, everyone who attended in May but hasn't attended since, here are those people. And we can select them. So you can select, you can select a full report, you can select sections of a report, and then right from that report you can click on the option to email selected customers. So the nice thing about that is if you're setting up a special discount code for students who haven't been in a while, this is the perfect way to let them know, is find those customers who haven't attended in some time, send them an email, give them a discount code or a link to a special pass or whatever you're offering, or even if it's just to contact them. It's okay if you're not offering a promotion. If you just want to reach out and say, hey, we haven't seen you in a while, we'd love to tell you about our new class times, our new schedule, a new instructor that we have, a new class we're offering, this cool workshop that we think you'd be into. Whatever you might be promoting, whether it's a discount or not, this is a great way to filter your customers and get to the right people. So anyone that you might want to contact, that's what's nice about our reports. You can filter by a lot of different things, and all of our reports give you the option to email the customers that you filtered for. So that's a great way to, get back in touch with customers. Use PunchPass to find those people and contact them with anything you'd like to talk to them about. So a trial phase, right, where you're talking about new opportunities, and again, something that might be a little scary, right, to get started with and just jump in all the way. We can dip a toe in first. So for instance, if we're hiring a new instructor, or we're thinking about hiring a new instructor, and we want to do a little trial period, that's a great reason to set up kind of a one-day workshop or a 1-month series, or again, just a trial period to find out how it's going to work. Is that relationship going to work between you and this employee, or is that going to be something that people are going to be interested in coming to? That's where we can try before we really get fully invested. So for instance, if they're offering, hey, we want to teach this whole new class, or if it's an existing instructor that said like, oh, I took this great workshop or training, I'd love to teach this new trampoline class, or whatever it might be, some new offering that maybe you haven't done before, again, a great time to test it out before you say, yep, for the rest of the year, we're going to do this and this is how it's going to look. Give it a week, give it a month, give it a little bit of a time, a workshop, a one-time event where you see interest and you get to talk to your regulars who come to the workshop and say, hey, did you like that class? How did you feel about it? How do you feel about the instructor? A workshop is a perfect opportunity to, really give people the chance to show you what they can do, or to really get a feel for how the customers respond to that kind of class offering or that instructor. So we do have a great recording of a webinar that we ran on workshops and all the benefits and different ideas for them and different concepts. So if you want to check that out, you can go to punchpass.com/webinars. We have all of our recordings there, so you can check it out there. But I am going to show you a little video on setting up a workshop and kind of talking through that process so you can get a feel for it and see how easy it is.
Let's set up a workshop together in PunchPass. I'm going to click on set up a new class in my manage classes area. And I'm going to set up a trampoline workshop here. We'll show it on the schedule. I can select a fun color for it and adjust the length of the class. So this is a 90-minute class. We can add a class description here. Sometimes people make the class first and can come back and you might want to edit that later. For reservation settings, I'm going to accept reservations and send email reminders to let people know. I'm also going to limit the number of reservations accepted. In this case would be the number of trampolines we offer. So we'll do 8. I can support the wait list if we want. I can also require an active pass to book. Although in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to require ticketing. So I'm going to turn that feature off and hit save. And now what I'm going to do is enable tickets for this class. So I'm going to set up our workshop is going to be a $30 workshop. I'll hit save. And so when customers go to book, they can pay that. Now I'll also want to adjust my eligible passes. So I'm going to clear all of those. So right now I could just accept tickets and hit save. I could also select other passes and make those eligible as well. But for right now, we'll just use the ticket feature. And then the last thing we have to do is add our one-time class. So when is the class taking place? Let's select our instructor, our studio here, location, and we're going to set the date and the class time. And this is an in-person, so we're not going to select online, and we'll go ahead and click save. So now we have our workshop set up. We can go take a look at it. So you can see it's just the one class on the schedule, and we can, we can copy that and share it out and let people know where to go for the workshop. But here is how you can see it from the public side.
So adding a workshop is really easy to do in the system. You're adding a one-time class. I mentioned, showing how to do ticketing in that video. That's available on our Banyan plan, but you can certainly offer a one-time workshop on any of our PunchPass plans. That just makes it super easy to have people book and pay at the same time. So that's something that, again, if you're thinking about trying a new opportunity, if you want to test something out, you haven't ever done it before, you want to give it a go, workshop is a perfect time to check it out. And, again, give yourself the opportunity to make a change, but it doesn't have to be something that you fully go in all the way with right before you even check it out. So give it the opportunity and then we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm really excited to talk about this part because I just find it so fun when people make changes to the way that they do things, specifically when it comes to your marketing, plans and how you might want to update what you're doing currently with marketing. So when it comes to social media, making changes to your vibe is not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes people get really stuck in the one way we do this. Oh, we always post and it always looks like this, and we always make sure it has this kind of color. And when it comes to, people scrolling on their phones, a change or something different is going to stand out and hopefully make them read whatever you're posting about. So maybe shifting to a seasonal theme, or something that's going to just change it up, make your feed a little bit more exciting, inviting, and bright, or whatever you might be looking to do. This is an opportunity, and you have an excuse, right? New season, new changes. We're changing up the way we do things here. Shift it up, change up the colors, change up the styles, whatever you currently do. It might not be wrong, but it might not be grabbing attention anymore. So by kind of shifting with the time and the seasons, you have this whole new opportunity to refresh everything and hopefully grab people's attention. So think about kind of how you're currently posting, and maybe look at your whole feed and say like, oh, are we going very heavy in one color or in one direction? Go in the opposite direction for a little while. Check it out. See if that grabs attention. See if you're getting more clicks. That could be something that really just, one little change could have a big impact. It's also never, I think, we kind of see it as a seasonal opportunity. It's never a bad time to think about what kind of ways you can use your social media to get more attention and get more followers, get people checking you out. And one way to do that is a giveaway. So we ran one this past summer with Punch Pass. We were offering a 1-year subscription, and that was something that we ran through Instagram. And it's just an opportunity to promote something that you're offering and hopefully get people to sign up and follow your account. So not only are you getting their contact information if they're signing up for the giveaway, but you're also hopefully gaining followers. So people who might not win whatever you're offering, like a free class, a yoga mat, some t-shirt, swag, whatever you might be putting out there, not only is it an opportunity for someone to win that's great, but it's an opportunity for you to get more followers and to get people who may purchase if they don't win, because they're now aware of what you have going on, and they're going to see your social media posts now that they're following you as a result of the giveaway. So that's something that keep an eye out. We're definitely looking at posting a future blog post about running a giveaway, so something to keep an eye on if you follow our blog. And but something that definitely during this time and season, it's a great opportunity to get people to follow you and go to your site and see your posts on a regular basis. So something to consider if you've never done one before. And we talked a lot about all those discount codes and different promos you might want to offer. Definitely post about that on social media. Get that out there on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, whatever you're using, Twitter. I don't know what everyone's using all the time. I feel like Facebook and Instagram are the biggest ones in our industry. But if you're using LinkedIn, whatever you might be using, post about what you're offering. If you're doing new student specials, if you're saying, hey, if you took a class with us and we haven't seen you in a while, here's a cool discount code you can use. Or reach out to us and let us know you're interested, and we'll send you a special code. Whatever process you want for them to receive that discount, promote it, get it out there, get it on people's news feeds so that they can see that there's an opportunity. Hopefully it's in a fun new vibe, so it's really grabbing their attention because it's on social media. And then it's more opportunities for you to get people to take advantage of those. So it's one thing to just kind of say like, oh yeah, we offer this, and we emailed our customers about it. Put it on your social, put it on your website, and just make sure that people are aware of what you're offering, because what you're offering could be really awesome, and you don't want people to miss out. So, if you're not really constantly updating your social media, we get it. Not everyone has the time, but especially if you're offering something new, consider putting it out there, because that's an awesome opportunity. Not to mention a great place to promote a workshop if you're trying that out as well. And then another thing you might want to update along with, your website and your social media feed is your link tree. If you're using Linktree, which is something that we think is really great to use on social media, especially Instagram, where you can only post one link in your bio, Linktree gives you the option to have multiple links. They click once and they get all these different links that you could be promoting. And that could be getting them to your website, your About You page, or it could also be promoting those discounts, as we mentioned, or special events, whatever you're doing. If you haven't updated it in a while, you might want to check it out. If you don't know what Linktree is, it's a free site that, again, allows you to add multiple links to one page. So you can really, market all of those different things that you're offering with one click. So it's a great tool. We talk about it a lot on, I believe I have this here, on our social media marketing webinar. So if you want to check that out, we walk through setting it up and show you what it looks like. So you could check that out there. But every season, every time you're offering something new, different pronos, discounts, workshops, series, whatever you might be offering, don't forget the Linktree update is big, and it's really quick and easy to do. It's a lot faster than updating your website for sure. So again, that might be something that you just want to check out and make sure you get into. All right. So we've talked about a lot of different things that you can do to shift things up, adjust your schedule, offer new things, how you might do that on a workshop level, updating your policies. And we've covered a lot here, but I'm just going to check in the chat to see if we have any questions. If there's anything about anything we've covered or something that we haven't covered and you have questions about, just feel free to write into the chat. And I'll give you a minute or two to do that, and then hopefully we'll see some questions. Oh, great question. We got in from Brian. Is there a way to run a report by attendees for a special class or people who have not returned? Yeah, so I would definitely use the reporting feature, for that. So we have a bunch of different ways to access that, those kind of reports. If you go into reports, actually, I'm just going to quickly click back through here, and I think we should see this in our reports area. Yes. So there are a bunch of different attendance reports that you can check out. So you can do it. The attendance by date range is a really great report where you can get a lot of information about attendances. So you could run that report and just search for the specific date range of the class or the specific class. The attendances by class date report is also another one where you could just specifically search out that particular class type. And so, for instance, if like you're looking for everyone who attends your HIT class, so let's just look at attendances for people who've attended the HIT class. And you could, again, set a date range for that and say, hey, anyone who's attended HIT in the past 6 months, I want to email them. Or, I want to get all of their information and see who has attended. So that's a report that you could definitely run. Okay, yeah, so that is something that I would recommend. We have another question in here. It's from Hillary about running series. So I can definitely, talk about series if you want for a little bit here. It's not specifically about the topic that we're covering, but it's definitely something you might be offering as you head into a new season. You might be offering a series. But if it's really specific about like, I want to run a series about this and on these dates, and here's what it looks like, then Hillary, I can message you later and we can definitely get into the chat about it or set up a call. But if it's about the concept, Oh, sure. This is a great question. So is there a way to run a series where students don't have to register for every class? So the way that our series feature works right now is when customers go to book a specific, book into the series, it's set up so that they're booked in like a course. So if it's like every Tuesday for 4 weeks, they go, they book, and they're booked into all of those classes. So we don't currently offer an option to book an individual session in a series. That is something our team is looking into. We are working on a couple updates to series, which I will make sure that I add you to that request. But what sometimes people do as a workaround is set up a series where, hey, people are attending this, this whole group, and then separately set up individual classes. Or another option would be setting up the individual classes in a series and not linking it as a series, but offering different pass types for for those customers. So for instance, oh, Hillary says she's not sure if you've set up a series the way that you've been interested in. You're setting them up as recurring classes. All right, Hillary, then I am going to message you about how to set up a series. They're really great, and they're a cool opportunity. We do have a webinar all focused on series, so I can also send you that information. But yeah, series are a great tool. So I will send that information to you, and yeah, I think that's a cool opportunity, and especially right now moving into fall season, it's like back to school, back to classes. Let's offer a course and have people be able to book and pay for the whole session in one go. I mean, that's a great opportunity at this, you know, kind of turn of the season and moving into the you know, kind of the fall back to school era. I love it. I love that feeling. We're having that kind of yeah. Oh, I love it. I mean, we have a little bit of time, so I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough with y'all, if you don't mind. Anyone who wants to jump off, of course, we're recording this, and you can head out if you'd like. But I'll just do a quick walkthrough because this went really quickly today. So if I go into my schedule, well, actually, I'm going to go into manage classes here. So I have a series set up, but I'll set up a new one. So, you know, one thing you can do is you know, create one out of a class that you already offer, or it could be something where, you know, you're looking to create a new one. So you could set up a new class, or you could go into one that you already have. So for instance, I'll click into our core strength class. I'm going to go ahead and disable tickets here. So for instance, you know, we have these class times set up. Once I have a class and class time set up, the option to create a series will show up for me. So I can go ahead and click on create a series for this class. And the first step is selecting which classes should be part of the series. So if I want to say, okay, this is going to be all of the core classes for the month of October, that's something I can do. So I can select those class times, and we'll scroll down here. And then I can create a name for this series. So, you know what, maybe this is like, maybe I could just call it core strength series, whatever I might want to do there. Could add a series description. What we do normally is just copy over the class description, but you can add and adjust and make different changes to that. And then you can actually set some rules about when you want registration to be open. So for instance, maybe we want to set different dates, like, oh, you know, for the October series, we're going to, you know, make it available starting September 6th. And if your series are really popular and you have a really small number of spots, you can also, you know, kind of say, hey, this is going to open at 5 p.m. on September 6th. Jump on and log in and sign up for the class. You could do that, or you could leave that blank if you don't want to do that. Some other options that you have when building a series are the option to close registration once the first class is started. So if you want the series to end and, you know, kind of, hey, you got a book before the first class, you can close registration once it started. Or if you're like, hey, if 3 weeks in someone wants to join and they want to pay for that, you know, more the merrier. Just depends on, you know, sort of how you feel about your series. And then you can also link it with a specific pass. So you have an option to set up, if you don't have a pass already, you could set up a special pass for your series, and then you could link it. And by linking it, that'll require your customers to purchase that pass in order to book into this series. Don't know if this one's linked to any ones that look like a nice series pass here. You know, but maybe that's, you know, maybe we just use our series for beginners pass, but we might have created a core strength series pass for this. And then all I have to do is go ahead and click save. And, you know, when you go into your schedule, just to see kind of what a series looks like, we'll go into October. And what you'll see is, let's get in here. We have our core strength series, and it's going to show like 1 of 8. So core strength series 1 of 8, and then we have core strength series 2 of 8. So those are like each session in the series is all linked together. And for the series, it's really cool because let's see if this will pull up for us. what you'll see from the customer side is when they go to book in, it'll give them all the dates for all the classes, and you'll see here registration isn't open yet, but it's going to be. And once it is, they'll be able to book and pay at the same time if you're using the link to pass option. So that's kind of a quick overview of series. I'll definitely send you some more information. And that sounds good. Can you set the capacity of the class was a question that came in here, and you can. So when you set up a series, if you're basing it, you're going to be basing it off of a class. So I'm going to click into my class and I can edit it and limit the number of reservations accepted. So we can set that to whatever we want and click save. The only thing I will mention, if you're setting up a series and you want it to be really different from a class that you already offer, you might want to create a whole new class and set the rules for it and then build the series out of it. I went into a class we already had scheduled. I made a series, but feel free, set up a new class, create your new schedule, book it all together as a series if you want to kind of keep those separate. So that's something that you can definitely do and adjust on the class level as well. All right. Well, thanks for my impromptu series overview. I'm glad we covered that because it seemed like there was some interest. Is there any other questions? Anyone else have any, curious about anything about Punch Pass or anything you're looking to do this fall? We'll give it another minute or so if anyone wants to write in. Oh, yep, great. Just another question, I think probably about series. If someone signs up, do they get an email? Just like booking for a class, if you're signing up for a series or if you're signing up for a workshop, whatever you're signing up for, when a customer reserves, they will get an email confirming their reservation. So the series reservation will show all of the classes. It'll include all the classes in the series in the one email, just in case you're worried they get like 12 emails at once. That's not the case. They'll get the one series reservation confirmation email. It's very similar to the class confirmation email. It'll just list all of the different sessions in the series. So with follow-up emails, yeah, that's a great question. That is based on the class level. So if you are, if you want to make sure that people get reminder emails, I'll go ahead and click edit on the class. And for each class, you actually get to set this yourself, different settings for different classes if you want. So you can say, yes, I want to send customers an email reminder, a certain amount of days in advance. So if I want a reminder email, I'll just check that box under the class reservation settings. And just to show you, under manage settings, online reservations, if we scroll down here to the reservation emails, if we are turning on reminders, you get to set how many days in advance do I want them to get emailed. So you can select 1 day in advance, 2 days in advance, or 3 days in advance, depending on what works better for your schedule. And those go out at 4 p.m. your time, either 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days before the class. So if you're, you can do that for all of your classes. You can make sure, if you're worried specifically about series, make sure the class type you base the series on includes those reservation reminder emails, and you'll be all set. All right. Well, I'll definitely be sending out, we'll be sending out an email with the recording link and maybe a few other links just based on our conversation here, to some of our other documents and webinars that you might want to check out, just based on our conversation. I think there's a lot of things people would be interested in, so that's great. But I want to thank you all so much for coming. I'll just quickly head back into our overview just to make sure I remember to to say thank you all. And I'm wishing all of you a very productive fall, a very good season, or whatever season you're launching into now. Just hopefully it'll be a good one for you. Hopefully you'll try a couple new things. Maybe we've sparked some ideas for you. Definitely reach out if you have any questions. We can always set up a call if you want to walk through setting up a new class, a new series, a workshop, a discount code. We can run through that in the chat. We can talk, we can talk anytime. Thank you all so much for coming in, and I hope you all stay safe. And thanks again. Have a good one.